Chair recognizes the gentleman from Michigan, Mr. Benishek. Dr. Benishek.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Well, from the testimony today and some of the answers to the questions, Mr. Bonney, it's apparent to me that, I don't know, maybe incorrect, but it seems there's some controversy over whether or not the sequestration really applied to this rural schools or not. But as I understand it, the Obama administration had decided that cutting payments to our rural communities was part of the sequestration process. Is that correct?
Yes, sequestration applied to secure rural schools.
So it's just tough for me to figure out. There was nothing else in the budget that could have been cut that was less important than that payment to our rural schools. So it's hard for me to figure out how that happened. And I know you say it's all really complicated, but in the big picture, that's exactly what happened. And to me, as many of the other members have pointed out, is the fact that the Forest Service has failed in their trust of the American people. I mean, actually, these forests are owned by the American people. And the Forest Service is charged with being the custodian of a wonderful asset that the American people own, and they've not managed it properly. Now, you could complain about one administration or the other, but I have a lot of federal forests in my district in Michigan 1, and as you heard many other members, our local communities depend on revenue from that federal land, and in the past, maybe decades gone by, they received a portion of the timber sales, but maybe over the last decade or 2 decades, the ability of the Forest Service to, I don't know, responsibly harvest that asset and manage that asset has seemed to have been lost. And I don't know exactly the answer, and I've had, my opportunity to question not only guys like you, but Mr. Tidwell and the Department of the Interior and it comes down to the fact that it doesn't seem to me that they don't know how to do it right or something. Everybody else who manages a forest, when they sell timber, they make money. I mean, private landowners, when they sell their timber, they make money, but the Forest Service can't seem to be able to make money when they sell timber. The standard answer I get from the Forest Service why don't you sell more timber, is we don't have a budget. And I'm going, well, everybody else when they sell timber makes money. So why can't you do it? And I never get a good answer to that. And how is it that, what can we do differently to make the Forest Service manage our timber in a way that they make money for our local school districts and for the Forest Service themselves? What should we change to make it actually work, Mr. Bonney?
So I think obviously the Forest Service operates under a multiple use mandate, and that means timber, recreation, mining, and a host of other things. And so that constrains some of what we can do. And so our lands are managed differently than private lands, and I think we would all acknowledge that. I'd go back to the point that I think we agree, and there's a lot of bipartisan agreement, that we need to increase the amount of work we're getting done in the woods. And we're taking a number of steps in order to do that. I talked about some of the efficiency we're trying to create through large landscape scale efforts. I also mentioned earlier the challenges associated with fire budgeting. That is a significant impediment, and I think that's an area that I would suggest the committee really think about addressing.
I don't remember the part of your answers that said how we're going to fix this. I mean, I don't remember that answer coming back. How are we going to fix this? I mean, we're going to do better, is what you said. But
so I think we are doing better. We've increased.
Give me one specific thing that you're going to change that will increase the ability of the Forest Service to harvest more timber.
The most important thing we could change, I think, is the way we budget for fire, and that will have significant implications for how we can manage our forests.
But that doesn't address the issue again. I mean, I understand that you're fighting, to me, the fighting forest, the fire problem is because you haven't been managing the timber. So
In part it is, you're right. And it's been multiple decades building up, and so we have some real challenges there. Our challenge is that our capacity to address forest management is reduced because we're committing so many resources to fire.
all right, I guess you're just not going to answer that question. Thanks.
Time of the gentleman has expired.